What is going on, everyone? Scion's here with the Everyday Grind. Today, we're going to talk about Torghast, and we're going to talk about what's good, what was promised, where people are at. It's kind of a hot topic. This is the biggest thing, one of the biggest features in Shadowlands. Blizzard went all out on this. Hey, you're going to be able to do Torghast, the Tower of the Damned. There's going to be rewards. You're going to be able to craft your legendaries in this thing. And we're all excited. A lot of changes since the alpha and the beta. We're going to talk about what was kind of talked about at first, and then we're going to talk about what happened, and then we're going to talk about where Torghast is now. Again, like I said, it is a huge topic. People are split. I'm split on Torghast right now. Twisting corridors, not really a big deal. Doesn't really give you enough bang for your buck. You spend a lot of time in there. So Blizzard had made some changes, but the changes aren't there. No one's talking about it. Blizzard's just quiet, all quiet on the Western Front. It's like a Secret Service issue. You can ask them a question, and you only need to know if we tell you. So let's get into it. Let's get into why I'm kind of up and down on Torghast. Here we go. Here's an interview from Polygon with Ian Hazzikostas, again, December 17th, 2020. It's about a month old at this point as of recording today, but it's still relevant to the thought processes that Blizzard has for Torghast. I want everyone to remember that when the content creators were testing this, and everyone was testing this in the alpha and the beta, well, not everyone, but a lot of people, it was designed to be a never-ending dungeon. You had all these rewards, and the higher you went, of course, the harder it got, but the better the reward, all of these things. Well, that's changed. I want everyone also to remember that when it first came out, everyone was spending an hour a layer just in the first 6 layers to get your soul ash, to maximize it. And then you went in the next week and it was another 6 hours. Actually, it was 12 because you had 2 sides. So 12 hours just to finish. So there was a lot of feedback from the player base saying, hey, that's a lot. Then they released layers 7 and 8. A little harder. The outcry became a little bigger and a little louder. So Blizzard decided to make some changes, but I can tell you there's some changes that still need to be made. The RNG-ness and all of these other things that aren't always quite right, and we'll get into some of that later on in the video. But I want you guys to see kind of the ideology of where Blizzard's at so that we can all be informed, and then we can talk about the John Cena, you can't see me communication back to the people. When we're asking questions, we're not getting any answers. So let's take a look at this right here, and let's just go down. Again, they're talking about Torghast Tower of the Damned and how it's on a weekly reset, and people are having a hard time. Classes are having a hard time. Some classes, it's a breeze. Some classes, it's not. So one of the things that Ian said right here is some of the changes. This is a top priority for us right now. We have a bunch of changes in the works, all of which aims at easing the Torghast experience. Players will see these changes in the next coming days. It was kind of a change. It was very small changes. I don't feel it was sweeping changes at all. As far as the top priority, it sounds like a lot of talking right now, where Torghast is in some ways. So again, hot fixes have already gone out. This was before Christmas with a larger patch set to hit before the weekend. And that patch was okay. It wasn't great. It didn't change the world, right? So then we get in here with Ian. We are ramping up we're ramping up the difficulty over the course of the experience with the intent of avoiding the trap players could fall into, where they make their way to floor 5 or 6 boss before realizing they were in over their head and didn't have the DPS gear to take down the boss. Then they'd walk away thinking, well, I just wasted 45 minutes. That sucks. I can tell you right now, that is still going on. It is still a thing in Twisting Corridors for sure. Again, I get that you need to gear up and use the anima powers that you get, but sometimes you don't get the right anima powers, and this is still prevalent. And again, this is one of the huge things, one of the major features in Shadowlands, and we're still dealing with this a month later, right? These changes were made to be, little tweaks, good Lord, to an otherwise successful formula. The problem was that they dovetailed with new levels. Players went from having just 3 layers to 8. Blizzard expected the player base to slowly work through this content. So let's stop right there. Where does Blizzard think that the players are going to slowly work their way through any content they release? Again, that is a huge mistake. I disagree with that ideology. That way of thinking is not how they should have been. So they wanted you to equip through Castle, Nathria, Raid, and Mythic Dungeons. Well, that's great. But again, Mythic Dungeons is its own issue, and Raids, you got to have the item level. So they're thinking that you were just going to, oh, you know, it'll be here for a while, I'll just go get it later. That's not how the player base plays the game. The fact that Blizzard still thinks that that's how the player base plays the game, I've got a lot of questions now at this point. So again, Hazakostas says that beta didn't prepare them for the player behavior on live servers. How did that not prepare you for behavior on live servers? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, seriously, that's all we were doing. That's all I was streaming was Torghast. Towley was streaming Torghast. Everyone was streaming Torghast. What do you mean that didn't prepare you for the behavior? Were you not watching? That's a problem. That's another issue. A huge disconnect, again, with Torghast and the player base. If layer 1 was like a normal dungeon, layer 2 was like a heroic dungeon, but the time you're getting up to layer 6, that's like a mythic 7, and layer 8 is more like a 13 or 14. And there are some players who are very, very skilled and getting gear from other sources who are doing 14 plus dungeons this week. This was on December 17, 2020. But for some players, they'll never get there. And for other players, it'll be something they do 4 months from now when they have tons of epic gear under their belts. Well, when you're tying Soul Ash and your legendary progression to Torghast, no, they're going to go into it right now because it's all about player power. So I don't know where you would thought that this was a thing. Again, not clearly communicated to us as testers at all. Hazakostas admits that communication was an issue. And now that the new layers of Torghast are out in the wild and proving to be such a frustrating experience, Blizzard will tone them down. We can't unring the bell that people are trying to do this. I mean, I just don't agree with where their thought process is. Blizzard has a few primary goals with Torghast at the moment. Now, I want you guys to pay specific attention to what I read next because we're a month later. 1, bring down the average length of Torghast so it's not an hour-long grind. Well, it depends. It's about a 45-minute grind, a 35-minute grind if you're just super awesome at it. 2, increase the success rate for a handful of classes and specializations that are struggling. Again, it wasn't enough. 3, make sure that the powers players can pick up. This is important. So when you're in Torghast, remember this. The powers players can pick up are fun and diverse things that could only work in Torghast, not just a stronger version of a player's usual rotation. Let's stop right there. A great example of that is Hunters and having Tar Trap everything. Tar Trap everything and using Eyes of the Beast and misdirecting every cast and all of those kinds of things. I get it. It does challenge the gameplay when you're a Raider, you're a Mythic Plus player, and now you have to refocus. Oh, I need to throw my trap out every time I have a mob out. I get it. And again, a lot of those abilities and those anima powers aren't exactly awesome. And there's a lot of non-magic dampening in these Torghast runs, so there's just a lot in there. But again, they want you to play outside of your usual rotation. That is the plan. That's the play. So remember that when you go in. Number 4, make it clear just how hard each layer is supposed to be and when a player should tackle it. When I asked Hazakostas if Torghast will be rapid-fire, high-skill race through challenging enemies or a patient, meticulous journey that players can complete through perseverance, he says the answer is ideally both. Well, I don't see a lot of racing going on. I don't remember seeing any, and you guys can correct me and I'm wrong in the comments below on this video, I don't remember seeing any achievements saying, hey, you got this done faster. So in the next few weeks, a new wing of Torghast will open Twisting Corridors has 18 floors and is a one-time accomplishment for cosmetics. Let's stop right there. So there are 18 floors. There are 8 layers. On layers 2, 4, and 6, you get a pet. On layer 8, you get a mount that you can use in the maw. There's no cosmetics in it. That's it. So when he says cosmetics, I'm thinking transmog. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. That will be a journey for someone who is planning their every move and enjoying every step, and they won't have to worry about returning every week. Also hitting the maw, upgrading soul binds and conduits, and unlocking their great vault upgrades. Okay. Again, completely out of touch with what we're going through right now. Future wings could be for the hardcore Torghast racers among us, although Hazukosta says the team is wary about making any new additions to the tower. Don't feel mandatory for a level 60 character to repeat every week. A time mode challenge or modes could emerge, and I think that's probably the case in the future once current kinks and Torghast are ironed out. They're not. We're a month later. They're not. And again, here's kind of where we're at right now. And I really feel this right here. Torghast shouldn't be about chain polymorphing this one guard while you kill his buddy, because if you fight both of them at once, you die in 10 seconds. That doesn't make you feel powerful, inspired, and that's what we're looking to move away from. So again, Blizzard is monitoring the community forums. Again, we're being stonewalled. I'm asking questions. Towley's asking questions. Maximus, not really asking questions, but he has a lot to say. McConnell asking questions. People are asking questions. All these people that are a little more known than I am are asking the questions, and people are just getting stonewalled. That you don't need to know. It's need to know, Scions, and man, you don't need to know. So, I mean, like, I can't even go to my community and say, hey, you know, they're looking at this, they're working on it. You know, again, I'm smart enough to not give away all the answers to the test, right? Because there's some trust there that I'm not going to spew out the advanced things that I know. However, they're not talking about it at all. Not at all. And now I wanted you guys to take a look at some of these things that I found in Torghast. So they released Twisting Corridors. This is what I got in Twisting Corridors. Placeholder. So not only are they proving that they're not prepared for Torghast, and they got this into the live game. This is in Twisting Corridors. Floor 14, and I have a placeholder for power. What more do I need to say about that? What more do I need to say about that? It's embarrassing. You know, let's go to picture number 2. So the RNG piece. So the RNG piece is kind of a big deal. Again, so I'm on floor 5 and I'm doing my weekly soul ash, right? So this is layer 8. I'm going up to the last boss. These are the talents as a hunter that I'm getting. So gain the Born to be Wild talent. Okay, you know, I can pick another talent in there. That's fine. But let's look at this one. Maw Rat Harness. Obtain a Maw Rat Harness, an item that allows you to transform into a Maw Rat while in Torghast. Am I going to use that on the last boss? No. So, Maw Rat Scent Gland. When your pet is within 10 yards of a Maw Rat, your pet will immediately kill the Maw Rat. No Maw Rats on that final boss. So the RNG thing. Let's talk about that just for a second. I understand the RNG thing. I totally get it. I don't have a problem with RNG. I have a problem with really stupid RNG, and that's kind of what we're looking at right here. You shouldn't be getting Maw Rat harnesses and scent glands when you're going up to a boss. My opinion. Again, the whole thing is based on my opinion, but that's kind of where we're losing right now. Torghast is losing, and Blizzard isn't reacting fast enough. Again, they can use a lot of excuses, right? We're working from home because of the COVID and all these other things. Then what I would say to you is this, Blizzard, don't release it until you're ready. Don't put it in the game until you're ready. If it's not right, don't just push it out there. Again, don't push it out there. You clearly weren't ready. Right here. Oh, you can fix it. It's not on our radar. It's not on our radar. What is on the radar? We don't know. So Torghast, don't get me wrong. I still like Torghast. It's a great thing. It's fun. It has a purpose, but I really think they need to dig into it and really work into this major feature. We're going to have this Torghast for another 18 months. Once I'm done with Soul Ash, I'm not going back to Torghast on any of my characters. Once I have all of the legendaries that I want to make, I'm not going back to Torghast. Not going to happen. So they're going to have to feed it. They're going to have to bring more things into it. and they're going to have to adjust some other things in Twisting Corridors, in my opinion. Again, or let's have that honest two-way communication. Hey, if you want to do this content, we don't want you to kind of figure it out, but we're going to give you a little teaser. You know, you might want to get a group, or, you know, something. Give us something so that we understand exactly where we're at with this thing, because a lot of people are frustrated. It's not that I'm frustrated. Like, I'm going to do okay. I'll be able to get Twisting Corridors done. I'm not worried about that. But again, this video isn't about what I can do. This video is about what it's doing to the player base and how frustrated the players are over Torghast. So Blizzard, please, please, please watch this video. Maybe I'm right about some things. Maybe I'm wrong about things. I don't mind that. But I know I have some valid points right here. Placeholder got into the live game. I cannot believe I'm even looking at this right now. Like, seriously, you didn't test it. I don't know what to say. You didn't even look at it. You just go, oh yeah, we'll just throw it in. It's good. No follow-up. None of that going on. So please, please, please like and subscribe to this video. I think this is a really good video. I'm really passionate about the Torghast thing, about it being right, because it's fun. I want to do it. I want to have fun. I want other people to have fun. But there's a lot of frustration here, and people are paying for carries and stuff. I don't think this is something people should have to pay in-game gold for carries. I think a lot of this has to be done right. It has to be done with people who can do it. And again, I'm totally good with, hey, wait, get more gear and all that other stuff. I'm okay with that. I don't think people will go in 4 months later just to do it for fun. I don't see that, but again, I could be wrong. So remember what I said about Torghast and using your abilities and all that other stuff. It's very, very important. I thank you for your time today. That's it for me, everyone. If you haven't caught me on Twitch, please come watch me on Twitch. I stream every day except Thursday. Please like and subscribe to this video. The videos are only getting better and a little more direct about how I feel about specific things. So I love it. It was a lot of fun recording this. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next time.